The shadows are near, tales of the lost and haunted, we're here.
Episode 15. Tonight's story takes us to eastern North Carolina, a small town with a very big reputation, and one of the most unsettling adventures our little crew of investigators has had yet. Littleton, North Carolina, sits tucked near the Virginia line, a place the map treats kindly and time treats slowly. Founded in the 18th to 19th century and named for William Little, the town's antebellum homes, quiet main street, and proximity to lakes and deep timber have given it a small town charm and the sort of shadowed edges where stories park and wait. Those same woods and waterways have fed local lore for generations, and in recent years, Littleton's odd little museum helped make those stories louder. We are driving through Littleton, North Carolina. Our destination was the Cryptozoology and Paranormal Museum, the town's magnet for everything uncanny. The museum began as Stephen Barcelo's home project after he and his family moved south from Long Island. Stephen was a former New York City photojournalist. He turned his obsession with strange stories into a public collection, and the place has drawn attention from regional press and programs, even earning a segment on PBS. Recently, Stephen moved his museum out of his house into a freestanding location in town, a proper storefront, and a space for the growing collection. And that's where we met him in person. He greeted us like a reporter with a long, complicated story. He was direct, curious, and quietly certain that the world was full of things that don't fit neatly into the evening news. Inside the new space, the museum feels like part cabinet of curiosities, part newsroom archive, and part small-town shrine to the unexplained. There are plaster casts, papers, maps, and tucked into a dim corner, a collection of dolls that made even the three of us very uncomfortable. These aren't just vintage doll heads on a shelf. Stephen explained these are items recovered from calls they've taken over the years. Objects people swore were haunted or brought bad luck. They stare into different directions, some with glassy eyes, some with cracked porcelain, some wrapped in the sort of ritualized notes you're taught to treat with caution. We photographed and filmed those dolls very slowly and respectfully with the utmost caution, just in case, because when a community hands you a thing like that, the ethical move is to document it and to disturb it as little as possible. Alright, so Maya says this is finally scary. We're gonna buy some stuff here for sure, so just wait. Visit posts and travel features over the years have highlighted that the museum keeps an especially eerie doll display among the most talked about objects. We left the museum with a list of places Stephen wanted us to check out, and a story he'd been tracking about footprints and sightings near Meddock Mountain State Park. Meddock sits an easy drive away, a modest wooded rise in a coastal plain, layered with trails and old growth, the sort of place where sound changes at dusk and tracks in mud look larger than they should. Stephen has shown us plaster casts he collected, deep impressions he'd found and lifted from the park's trail and surrounding back roads. Those casts live as some of the museum's more controversial pieces, and they're the kind of thing that keeps locals whispering even when they try to go out about their day. So we are at Littleton, North Carolina. We just got out of
the Cryptozoology Museum.
That's right. But we have this Meddock Mountain State Park, which they have seen supposedly
Bigfoot sightings in the mountains.
Bigfoot sightings. So I didn't realize that this is going to turn into a Bigfoot sighting or Bigfoot adventure, but that's what it is. Even though that place had some really creepy haunted dolls that were behind glass, and I haven't even. So we're gonna head over to this Meddock Mountain State Park and see what we could see. Right, Maya?
Yeah.
All right. Signing out.
And I just want night night.
You just want night night? We can go night night.
No.
Oh, you just went night-night. Yeah, you did nap. At Medoc, we didn't get to walk the marked trails. We spent some time in a small park where the kids played. We did, however, track down a park official and ask about the reported sightings of Bigfoot or similar. On the record, she was constrained. She was polite, professional, and in true park system fashion, careful not to confirm or amplify unverified claims. For the record, she would not comment. But if you were there and saw her face when we asked the questions, you would be foolish to think there was nothing more to these claims. Maybe we were projecting, maybe not. Either way, it changed the energy of our adventure. The evening air thickened and so did the mosquitoes as they took over the understory. Skeptics will tell you the woods are full of sounds, coyotes, owls, branches, and they're right. But part of this work is tracking patterns, repeated reports, tangible casts, and witnesses who don't want to be ridiculed but show the same hesitance when they're asked to speak. Littleton, Medoc, and the people who live there form a kind of oral topography, a map made of stories, sightings, and things found in the mud. We didn't bring back a captured creature or sealed proof. What we did bring back were photos and videos of the strange doll collection, photos of plaster casts collected by Stephen himself, and maybe an off-the-record look at the very least confirming that claims have been made of strange encounters in the woods. Stephen's collection and a notebook full of human testimony left us feeling like visitors who had been given permission to look, nothing more, nothing less. Stephen's museum is not a shrine to answers, it's an archive of questions, and moving that collection into its own space has only made that archive more accessible to people who want to see, ask, and decide for themselves. So if you're planning to visit Littleton, be respectful, bring your coffee and flashlights, mind the signage at Medoc, and if you step into the museum's doll corner, do so carefully. Some things in this world aren't made to be solved. They're made to be witnessed and stewarded. This is Tales of the Lost and Haunted. Until next time.